What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the At the Horn podcast. My name is Sammy Hall, and we got a full team today. Evan Stern, Evan Levine, Anthony, and Nick. So, guys, how are you doing this Saturday evening?
Fantabulous.
Very good.
It's good to hear. So, guys, today on the podcast, we're going to be kind of recapping a very eventful Week 13 in the NFL. A lot of us did great on our picks. We'll reveal those. We'll kind of update the standings and where we sit at this point. And we'll make our Week 14 picks. So, an NFL podcast today. A lot of our podcasts have been NFL, but it's that time of the year, so it feels right for the situation. So I guess I'll start it off by recapping how we did and where we sit in the standings. So currently, or actually, I'll do it this way. So Nick, Stern, and Anthony, all three of you guys went 10-5.
Goated.
So very solid week for you three. Evan Levine went 11-4, and I went 12-3. So we all did very good this week, which brings our winning percentage up a little bit. Most of us were hovering around the 500 mark last week, but now we're all doing pretty good. So since Nick wasn't around to pick for the Week 13 games, the Week 11 games, we are just doing this based off win percentage. And sorry, I have a clock going off in the background as the new hour has reached. Just ignore that. Nick at 10-5. And Seth or Evan Levine are tied for second at 18-10. Stern's right behind at 16-12, and Anthony bringing up the rear at 15-13. Still,
he's positive.
Yeah.
So, our Week 14 games that we're going to pick all of them. But first, I want to kind of go over Week 12 or Week 13 and see what you guys think. I already talked about the Giants win on the emergency podcast, so we'll talk about that maybe a little later. But I want to talk about the Washington football team upset on Monday night against the Steelers, a game which actually a couple of us picked right. I know Stern was one, and there was someone else. So the Evans got that pick right. And Stern, well, what did you think? Like, how did you anticipate that was going to happen? I mean, an undefeated.
Listen to me. I've been saying it from the beginning. I don't believe in the Steelers. You look at their schedule; they have not played good competition. Okay, that undefeated season was never going to last. Whether it be the football team, whether it be this week or later in the season, I don't care. The Steelers were never for real. I'm saying that right now. And it felt like a trap game, okay, because the Steelers, they come off such a great win and whatever, go to play Washington. The following week, they got Buffalo. Okay, so it's a game in the middle where everyone seems to think that the Steelers, oh, no, Steelers, easy win. No. Not to mention they were coming off somewhat of a short week. They did not play well the week before against the Ravens. Okay, and the Washington football team came off of a week where they played the Thursday before, and they absolutely slaughtered the worst team in the NFL. Now, obviously, that's not saying anything, considering it's the worst team in the NFL, but I'm telling you the Washington defense is for real.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I thought while watching that game, I was very impressed with how Washington was able to respond, especially going down 14 in the first half. A lot of teams going to Pittsburgh, not able to overcome that big of a deficit, and give credit to Alex Smith and Ron Rivera and his staff. The whole team played really sound football. They executed. Their defensive line stepped up. They had that interception on Big Ben's 2-minute drive attempt to win the game. So everyone executed down the stretch, and that's what you need to be a good team like the Steelers. And Washington did what they could. Anthony,
one more thing on the Steelers here. I'm gonna go off on a limb here, and I know I've been chirping the Steelers all year, but I've kind of watched them the past 2 weeks just to see what they're all about. That team has the potential to go all the way. Do not get me wrong, it does. Okay, the receiving core there is phenomenal. The problem is the drops. They gotta stop dropping the ball. Every single one of them, at least a few drops a game. Okay, I have Deontay Johnson in fantasy. The dude's a PPR machine. But the problem is he's got like double-digit targets every game, and he's not catching them. All right? Not to mention they don't establish a run game. You can't – I'm a Patriots fan. I know all about this. You can't be a one-dimensional team and expect to win. You have to be able to run the football if you want to be successful. It's the complete opposite for the Patriots, which we'll get into later. But that's the problem.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially as the calendar shifts to December here. You're going to get a lot more cold weather games, and the teams who can establish the run and dominate on the ground is going to prove to be huge down the stretch here. And Pittsburgh inability to do that, that especially stood out, like I said, against Washington. It allowed Washington to kind of creep back in because without a run game, you can't really chew the clock. A lot of punts, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of incomplete passes due to those drops. So it longed the game and gave Washington a lot more time to kind of climb back in, chipping away. And like I said, they just executed on all levels. It was just a really sound performance from Washington. It sucks for me as a Giants fan. It would have been nice to have a one-game lead in the division, but got to give credit where credit's due. And Washington came out to play it on Monday night. If anyone else has anything to offer.
I just have to say that Washington offense stepped up huge. That's pretty much it. I just was very impressed by all of them.
Especially without their best player, Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that game went very well for them, and it proved that they are still in the playoff race. And, yeah.
A lot of credit to Washington's coaching there, too, to be able to work with what they have. They really just – the receiving core sucks. Outside of Terry McLaurin, to be able to do what they did, finding what the hell is his name?
Simmons,
Something –
Cam
Sims?
Yeah, he was huge.
I mean, like, Logan Thomas.
Too. He got all 9 of his targets. I had him in fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that's like a coaching thing for them. To be able to make that adjustment without Antonio Gibson, who's been so, like, two-dimensional all year, and to obviously Terry McLaurin was getting locked up, doubled, whatever. To be able to come out the second half and move the ball the way they did was quite impressive.
Yeah, just getting the most out of your players who not necessarily are household names. I think Ron Rivera has done, along with a bunch of other coaches in the NFL, obviously Joe Judge comes to mind, but getting guys who are kind of under the radar players, not big names, getting the most out of them to maximize their potential and become better players than anyone could have anticipated to be. That's what it takes to win in this league when you're underhanded, losing your star running back in Antonio Gibson. It was just an all-around masterpiece from the football team this weekend. Another game that was very intriguing during Week 13 was the New York Jets collapse against the Las Vegas Raiders. And Greg Williams obviously got fired. The defensive coordinator got fired post-game due to the just horrific call with a couple seconds left in the game, sending an 8-man blitz and leaving your undrafted cornerback to guard the fastest guy in the NFL and Henry Ruggs one-on-one down the sideline. That was quite possibly the worst call I've ever seen in my life. People think it could be for the tank. I don't think it's for the tank. I just think they're that bad, and I think their coaching staff has proven to be that bad throughout the Adam Gase era. It was just really disappointing. I know my dad was disappointed. My dad's a Jets fan, so I watch the Jets all the time, and just to see that unfold in front of my eyes was just disgraceful. You had guys like, I remember Ty Johnson stepped up when Frank Gore went down. You had guys stepping up, playing well. Sam Darnold ran over a dude for a touchdown. For those guys to play as hard as they did and play as well as they did, just for your coaching staff to blow it in the end, it's just mind-boggling, and it sucks for the players. I feel bad for the guys. So Las Vegas did what they had to do to remain in the playoff hunt, and the Jets remained first for the number 1 pick, but it was just a terrible ending for the Jets. Anthony, what do you think about the game?
I mean, it says a lot when you got guys calling out your coach. I saw Marcus May, the safety. He's arguably the best player on the Jets right now. He literally called out Greg Williams, and that's like a no-no in the league. But, I mean, shortly after he got fired, so it didn't really mean anything. But I saw a stat, too, where in that type of situation, there have been like 250 tries for a play like that. And that was the first time a team ever rushed more than 5 defenders, and the Jets rushed 7. They had 4 guys in the secondary with people expected to go deep. It's mind-boggling. The common sense behind that is 0. Just a terrible overall call that led to them losing again. 0-12.
Yeah, I think it just epitomized the entire season for the Jets. I mean, you're getting close to winning just one game, and then all of a sudden just to blow it in a colossal failure at the end. It was just really disappointing. And I know a lot of Jets fans are happy. It helps their chances of getting the number 1 pick and landing Trevor Lawrence. But for me as a fan, if I were the Jets, like, I felt this way about the Giants. I never root for them to lose to get a higher draft pick, even though it seems like it's the right move. Like, in the long term, I always just want to see my team win. So for those kind of fans, it really is kind of heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for the players. who are every week fighting for their job to stay in the NFL. A lot of them probably aren't even going to be on this team, but to catch on somewhere else, if you play well, this is kind of like almost like a preseason, just a tryout for the Jets at this point, considering you've been out of it for like 5 weeks. So, yeah, it's disappointing. The guys worked hard, and to end up with this result in that manner was just really disappointing for the team. If anyone else has anything to add, we could move on here.
Yeah, I just have to say that Sam Darnold had an absolute great game. And it's just so unfortunate that the coach made that horrible call to just blow their hopes of getting the first win of the season. It just must be crushing for all the players on the team, as Sam said. And Sam Darnold definitely does not get enough respect. And it's
that's
sad.
your first good take on a quarterback all year. That was actually really impressive. Good job.
Sam Darnold is not the problem.
Yeah, Darnold's good.
He's in a terrible position here because obviously everyone knows that Trevor Lawrence is going to them. But in the end of the day, it's not really Sam Darnold's fault. At least that's how I see it.
Not at all. He doesn't have any weapons either. He has Jamison Crowder. What are you going to do? That's literally it. Jamison Crowder.
Their whole receiving core, their supposed trio of receivers, Denzel Mims out of Baylor, and then Brashad Perryman. I mean, that if you think about it, that's not necessarily a horrible receiving trio, but the fact is none of them have played all at the same time. Everyone's always hurt. Mims missed the first half of the season. Crowder's hurt.
Their offensive line is dog water too.
Yeah, Perryman's been out, and just they have no ability to protect quarterback. Mekhi Becton's their only bright spot, but he even gave a couple of sacks this week. So they've just been really just a terrible franchise, and it's sad to see. And I don't see, unless you get a new coach and you nail the draft, which, I mean, they had a solid draft this year, but you got to nail the draft. You got to start making moves to improve your roster, and the Jets haven't done that for a long time, even going back before the Adam Gase era. You think about when Todd Bowles was the coach. They had that 1 year with Fitzpatrick where they were close to the playoffs, but still even then they missed it. And they just haven't been able to really establish a culture or get in the direction towards becoming a good team in the NFL. They're always just stagnant at the bottom of the league. So for Nick, the whole thing is that the Jets really, for a while, have been stagnant towards either being a bottom feeder of the league or maybe your average at 8-8. But yeah, they haven't been able to consistently draft and develop players well and become a good team. And it sucks for the team. Go ahead, Anthony.
They did win the Jamal Adams trade though.
That is one move they did win. Anthony, go ahead.
So my question to you guys now. So the Jets are most likely going to land Trevor Lawrence, they're probably not going to win a game this year, realistically. But my question is, if they do land Trevor Lawrence, do you think, because they have the cap room to do it, do you think guys will be drawn to New York to come to the Jets, even though they're a terrible team?
Yes.
Seriously?
Because they'll hire a new head coach. It's going to be a new coach. It's going to be new management. So they're going to try and bring in a guy who's going to be an influence. And having Trevor Lawrence there is already an upgrade for a guy like Allen Robinson, who's been playing with Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles his entire life. Trevor Lawrence is automatically already better than those guys. Those guys are terrible.
They're not in a contending position enough to reel in guys like that, though.
Oh no, I agree. They're not going to make the
Lawrence
playoffs. They're not going to go over 500.
Give them 3 years though; they'll be back. I mean, you have to start from somewhere. They're at the bottom. They can only go up from here. I feel like guys are going to see that.
I'm also going to go out on a limb here, and I know this is probably the hottest take on this podcast, worse than Aaron Rodgers is bad. I genuinely think that Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle in the NFL. I've been watching him play. He has all the talent in the world, but I question the reads he makes. I watched a game the other day. He threw in a triple coverage down the field. It's not that doesn't survive in the NFL. That's a pick. That's something that he's probably going to develop in the NFL, but it's going to take some time, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work out.
I think sometimes play styles change when you get to the NFL, and a good example is Justin Herbert, and he was good in college. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't so amazing that everyone was all right, he's got to be in contention with Burrow. And then he came to the NFL and his whole play style changed completely. He's a completely different quarterback than he was at Oregon. So I think, he's obvious, like you said, he's got all the talent and intangibles to be a good quarterback, good size, good arm. athletic enough to get out of the pocket, can throw on the run. I just think it's going to matter what coaches they bring in to help him with like that faulty decision making that happens sometimes.
Yeah, and just to kind of elaborate on that point you made, Stern, because I feel like it probably, like you said, maybe an unpopular take, but I just want to back that up a little bit because I don't think it's that necessarily bad of a point. You got to keep in mind at Clemson, he's literally playing with 3 first-round receivers, probably all 5-star recruits. Like, he has the talent around him at Clemson that he just won't have with the Jets or whatever team that's going to be picking the top 5 that selects him. Then you go back to the game against, I think it was Virginia Tech, either this past weekend or
that's exactly what it was.
He had a really bad play in a cover. I don't even know if this is the same one you're talking about, but they were in the red zone. And I remember he threw it, just didn't even see a safety looking over the middle of the field, threw it in double coverage in the end zone, an interception. They did win that game. They won by a lot. But if you watch that game, you could tell Virginia Tech's defense completely confused and outplayed the Clemson offense. And it just so happened that Clemson is just more talented. But in the NFL, especially if he goes to the Jets, he's not going to have those same level of receivers that he did at Clemson. And I just think it's going to be interesting to see, like, how can he carry a team and lift a team? Obviously, he's done that, but he also has the guys around him at Clemson that he's not going to have at the Jets. So, yeah, it's a good point, Stern. I kind of agree with that. If anyone else has anything to add about the Jets, we can move on here.
I want the Stern rant.
I also want the Stern rant.
Okay, so one thing we want to do here is, as we head into our Week 14 picks,
Anger.
I'll start it off with the Thursday night game where the Rams absolutely throttled the Patriots, and Cam Newton had a bad game.
Bad? How about horrendous?
Let me finish here. So we text on our group chat. Me, Nick, and Evan Levine picked the Rams. Stern picked the Patriots, and Anthony never got his pick in, so I guess he just doesn't count. But so I guess we all get a victory. Stern gets a loss. But Stern has wanted to share his thoughts on just the abysmal performance of the Knicks. So, or not the Knicks, the Patriots, excuse me. So, Stern, the floor is yours.
All right. Let me make this clear. This is going to be, oh my God. I don't even know where to start. All right. I'm going to be completely honest right now.
Start with Cam because he blows.
First of all, I picked the Patriots because I'm never going to pick against them. That's my team. All right. I'm watching the game, and to be honest with you, this is a game for the Patriots that's an absolute must-win. All right, going into that game, sitting at 6-6, there was a potential, a very slim potential, but there was absolutely a potential for them to make a playoff appearance. All right, it would be a tough slide, but there was a chance if they had one out. All right, so I'm going into that game, and I'm like, all right. The week before, the Rams had shocked me. Okay, the Rams are for real, first of all. Let me start with that. I got to give complete respect to Sean McVay. Dude's an animal of a coach. They are very good. But I'm watching the game, okay? Cam Newton, like, I don't know, first possession, 3 and out, no problem. Okay, we're gonna run the football. That's kind of been the heart and soul of this offense this year. Cam Newton throws what should be a ball into the ground that Tom Brady has done plenty of times as a Patriot. That same screen pass. No, he throws a pick six. The guy is wide open. Like, I don't understand. There's a defender right behind. I think it was like Damian Harris going out on the screen. Right behind him. Pick six. All right, we're already in a hole.
Was
right?
it a pick six? I'm just having a little trouble hearing.
What?
Was it a pick six? I just can't really.
No,
hear you.
he's being a jerk.
Oh my God. Listen to me. You're a Lions fan. You understand this. All right, but let me tell you something. I am
when Aaron Rodgers dicks you guys down.
I am so done watching this team right now. I can't stand it. Why are we running the football on every down? Look, I get it. That's kind of the only thing we can do, but that's exactly the problem. Cam Newton sucks. I love him as a person. He is terrible. Stop playing him. From here on out, this is what I'm going to say. From here on out, we are essentially, not mathematically, I'm never going to count out a Bill Belichick coach team, but we are about as close to eliminated from the playoffs as eliminated gets. All right, Cam Newton has proven not the answer. So what do? Jarrett Stidham, a guy who Bill Belichick has praised in the past, right? He's praised him. He plays him in garbage time. Comes in this week against the Rams at the end of the game. Not much sample size, obviously. Can't really judge good or bad. Okay, this is a guy where going into the season was supposed to be the starter for them. Cam Newton joins the team, and that's what happens. Cam starts. Okay, so now what? You have a few weeks left in the season. Start Jarrett Stidham every single game. You have absolutely nothing to lose at this point other than gaining the satisfaction of either knowing if Jarrett Stidham is a possible future for them or you go into this draft looking for a quarterback. Regardless, you need to get a quarterback. But I think the fact that he was going to start this season means that he needs time now just to see what he's all about. And hear me out. I am so done with Cam Newton. He sucks.
Agreed.
He is terrible. You talk about how he can run the football. He's terrible at running the football. Maybe on 3rd and 2, he can run the football. Congratulations. Every single quarterback in the league, except maybe 10, can do that. I'm so done with it. All this let's not blame Cam Newton bullshit is over. Excuse my language, but I'm so done. He is terrible.
Kyle Trask to the Patriots.
Yeah, so that's actually where I was going to bring it up. So obviously they're going to probably miss out on Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, just considering where they're going to be picking, unless they trade up, which I don't really see happening. What kind of quarterback? I know Nick just mentioned Kyle Trask, potential Heisman favorite for right now, but what quarterback?
He's winning it.
I'm actually a huge fan of Kyle Trask. I'm not going to lie. I watched a lot of Florida football in the past few years. Kyle Trask is a very good quarterback.
Pure passer.
Exactly. And what does that sound like? That sounds like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
In no way am I comparing him to Tom Brady here, but I'm saying in terms of the actual playbook, Josh McDaniels is way more familiar with pure passing than having to deal with crappy read option. That's not exactly read option.
It'll get McDaniels back on his game for sure.
More like egg option.
Yeah.
I mean, but yes, I completely agree, Nick.
I just have a quick question for you, Stern. What do you think about Zach Wilson?
Oh.
Don't know too much about him.
So,
yeah.
Really?
So here's what I'm going to say. A lot of teams, and I always have this thought every year at the beginning of every season. It seems like going into any given NFL season, it seems like always at least 3/4 of the league have their franchise guy in place. But things happen throughout a season. And every year it seems like there's always 6 or 7 teams that are in the market for a QB. And if you think about it this year, I'm obviously going to forget some, but right away coming to mind, the Jets are going to need a QB, the Jaguars, the football team, because they have Alex Smith. Alex Smith, that's great.
Go. What are you talking about? Go.
No, but they're going to take a quarterback, or they're going to be in the market for a quarterback.
Go.
The Patriots, possibly Carolina, although they signed Teddy Bridgewater to that extension, depending on what the Vikings do with Kirk Cousins. And just there's a bunch of teams in any given year. I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams in the market for a quarterback. And this year with such a deep QB class, I'm excited to see which teams get what quarterback, and especially the Patriots, who they might end up with. But I think
I have a personal thing where I personally have this thing where I believe that pure passers have a way better chance of surviving the longevity of the league than a guy like Lamar Jackson.
No, you're right. There's no other way around that. You're right.
Justin Fields, I don't think he's going to be he'll be fine for a few years, but he'll never last.
He's a lot better of a passer though than Lamar.
Yes, completely agree. But he does a lot with his legs.
He does carry it a little too much, though. I agree.
I don't think Fields
and this is the thing. You're seeing it right now with Lamar Jackson.
3 years.
He's a turnover machine, right? And pure passers are just, in my eyes, personally, way more successful. Now, don't get me wrong. There's guys like Kyler Murray, but he's in college, primary passer. Justin Herbert, passer. These are all guys that can run, but primary passers. The most successful guys in the NFL. Just my personal thing.
I think you're right, Sim, because there's a lot of guys. So I think back to that 2004 draft class with Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, and Eli, right? All three of which, maybe Big Ben a little bit, but all three of which were not necessarily considered mobile quarterbacks. but all of them 15 plus years in the league. Obviously, Eli just retired, but you still have Rivers going strong, leading a playoff team. Big Ben's the leader of the best team in the NFL record-wise, or at least tied with the Chiefs. Brady obviously is 40, whatever, and he's still playing. Drew Brees is still playing. Guys who are pure pocket passers tend to last on in the league. RG3 was the rookie of the year he came out, but obviously now he's the third string QB of the Ravens. Kyler Murray, electric with his legs, but over the past few weeks, he's been really limited, and as a result, the Cardinals have dropped 3 in a row.
Johnny Manziel, all the hype with him coming out of college. Where is he?
Yeah, out of the league. And I completely agree at that point, Stern. I think that pure pocket passers who sit back and can read a defense and cook up defenses, Aaron Rodgers too. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a little bit of mobility, but still predominantly a pocket passer. The guys who are willing to stand in there, take hits, and just move the ball downfield are the guys who end up lasting in the league the longest. And I think that's a good point, Stern. If we have nothing else, I guess we can move on to our Week 14 picks in the NFL. And compared to last week, it is a way better schedule. It is a way better slate. There's a lot more better games, and I think we're going to have more parity in terms of who we pick. And as a result, we probably will have worse records than we did this week. So if we start off, obviously I just mentioned, so me, Nick Valenti, and Evan Levine, we all picked the Rams. Evan Stern picked the Patriots. So Stern's off to a tough start, but I don't blame Stern for picking. And then Anthony doesn't get a pick because he failed to respond in the group chat. So, yeah. Talk about an undedicated podcast member. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so the first game I want to talk about has great playoff implications in the FC wildcard race. The Minnesota Vikings traveling to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is a very intriguing game. Obviously, this game means so much for both teams in terms of seeding and even getting in. I think the Bucs are going to win. My big reason is I just don't think Minnesota has necessarily the cornerback depth and skill to match the Tampa Bay receiving corps. Obviously, you think of Evans, Godwin, Scotty Miller's pretty good. I just don't think it's a great matchup for Minnesota. I think their defensive backs are going to get absolutely lit up by Tom Brady. I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
I know we've all kind of been back and forth on the Bucs all year, saying that they're inconsistent and all whatnot. It's true, but I completely agree. I'm picking the Bucs this week, coming off a bye week. Tom Brady playoffs. You bet he's going to be there. I think the Vikings are actually a decent team, but I completely agree. I don't think the defensive backs of Minnesota are going to keep up. So I got the Bucs.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I also am taking the Bucs because they're coming off a bye week, well rested, and the Vikings. Honestly, they should have lost to the Jaguars. The Jaguars had 5 turnovers, and they still went to overtime. Like, that game shouldn't even, 5 turnovers, and it still went to overtime. If you take away 1 or 2 of those turnovers, that game's over. I still think the Vikings are a decent team, don't get me wrong. And the Buccaneers are a little inconsistent, maybe a little bit overrated, but coming off a bye week, they're going to be fresh. I think they're going to be able to hold Dalvin Cook a little bit, make Kirk Cousins throw the ball. And I think that the offense now I think it's going to be a little bit remastered to Brady, so I'm going to take the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Bucs here. For one reason, too, it's because Eric Hendricks is out. He's the only capable player on that defense other than Daniil Hunter and Eric Wilson. So I'm taking the Bucs here because they're just going to dismantle them. Another note to take, though, Kyle Rudolph and Irv Smith are both probably going to be out for this game. So the Vikings literally do not have a tight end. I think their next guy is like Tyler Croft, I want to say. So that's going to be a disaster. Bucs by a lot.
Yeah, I also have the Bucs here. I think the Vikings defense is too young and is going to have a difficult time stopping Tom Brady and that trio of a receiving core. So, yeah.
Clean sweep on the Bucs.
Yeah. I'm kind of a little bit surprised. I think I agree with all you guys. That's why I picked the Bucs, but I had a feeling someone may have picked the Vikings. But nonetheless, we got 5-0 on the Bucs. The next game, which I think will probably have a little bit more discrepancy, is the Arizona Cardinals facing the Giants, who are fresh off a huge win against the Seahawks. And me, obviously, I'm going to pick the Giants. And I'm always going to pick the Giants, but every time I'm going to pick them, I have a reason that I think, and the reason is just the defense is just playing at an unbelievable level right now. And we'll see if Blake Martinez is playing, which I hope he is, because if not, it's going to be a little bit hard to contain Kyler Murray. But even then, the play of Leonard Williams has been terrific over the past few weeks. Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson, stud defensive lineman, and then their secondary with obviously James Bradbury, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers. All those guys can really play. All those guys are in Pro Bowl contention. I think the Giants can just match up with any offense in the NFL. I said it last week. I'll say it again. And especially if Jones is going to play this weekend, I think the Giants have a real good chance at pulling out this victory.
So I'm actually torn between this game. I've kind of been going back and forth all week thinking about it. I must admit the Giants have been a team of late that has completely surprised me. I still worry about the offense for them, but I think their defense is for real. I don't know. They're hot right now, and I know the Cardinals are trending way down. I'm going to pick the Cardinals in this one, but it's going to be a hell of a game.
The Giants beat the Seahawks with Colt McCoy playing like a top 5 defense, banged up Kyler Murray. Bradbury's going to lock Hopkins. Give me the Giants.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Giants in this one for obvious reasons. Defense is too good to pick against. You look at DeAndre Hopkins' stats against top corners in the past couple games. He played Jalen Ramsey last week. Got shut down. He sucked. Kyler Murray is not that good because his shoulder is hurt or something. I don't know. And no, don't get me wrong. He's a good quarterback, but he is very banged up right now. Like, he's very injured, clearly. He's been playing terrible lately, to be honest. That defense is
he has like a shoulder thing that keeps coming back up.
What?
I think he has like a shoulder thing that keeps coming back up week in, week out.
Literally, because I see him on the sideline in every single game applying heat. Like, check it out. Get an MRI. Get it fixed. Like,
he's in my fantasy team week to week, questionable.
I'm aware. I look. Don't worry. Yeah, but the Giants, definitely here.
I'm actually going to take the Giants also here. I think the Giants' defense is very good.
Let's go, Levine.
I think Joe Judge has completely revolutionized this team from last year. I think I really like the Giants right now. I think they're good. I think they're going to win the NFC East. Yeah, I think the offensive line has played better since the bye, and yeah.
Yeah, and I want to mention the Giants offense, who as of late has really came on, especially since week 9 against their win against the football team. That run game, without their star running back Saquon Barkley, with the likes of Wayne Gallman and Alfred Morris, these dudes are absolutely punishing teams week after week. Gallman had 130 yards last week. Morris got in the paint twice. These guys have been running all over every defense they've seen. Give a lot of credit to their offensive line coach, Dave DeGuglielmo, who they just brought over. And Joe Judge, obviously, is absolutely galvanized this team. And they've really turned from a team who's just horrific at running the ball at the beginning of the season to one who can run with the best of them in the NFL. And I think with Jones coming back, it's just a matter of time. I think they have a solid receiving core with Shepard, Slayton, Tate, and Ingram. They have the pieces that they, at any given moment, I think they can really turn this around. And this is just me being an optimist as a Giants fan. But after I've seen the past few weeks, it's hard for me not to believe that they can accomplish anything and beat any team that stands in their way. That's how good I feel about us. It's been a long time since I felt this good about a Giants team. And maybe I'm just overhyping it. I probably am. But nonetheless, I'm very excited. And I think this is a great chance for the Giants to continue to build on their win last week and really vault themselves into the top of the NFC and playing in the playoffs. So next on the agenda is another great game in the AFC this week is the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Miami to face the Dolphins. And I have a feeling a lot of us are going to pick the Chiefs, as we probably should. But just to be different here, I'll pick the Dolphins. And the reason I say that is because I think it's going to be pretty hard for the Chiefs to go 15-1. I know teams have done it before, but this is an opportunity for a team in the Dolphins to get a signature win under Brian Flores. I think Tua is very good. I think their defense is great. And I think their coaching staff is going to put a plan in place to confuse Patrick Mahomes and at home maybe squeak out a victory. So to be different, I'll pick the Dolphins, even though the Chiefs could easily win this game. I could just be looking like an idiot next time we film this podcast.
No discussion, but I have the Chiefs. Not going to comment on your take.
Also, no discussion. the Kansas City Chiefs.
See, I'm notorious for my picks.
Do not do it.
I took the Jets a couple weeks ago.
Don't do it.
No.
You're in last place, Anthony. You need a solid win. This is it.
I'm going to go Dolphins here. So
Oh, my
Bro,
God.
my reasoning, the Honey Badger is out. Those are the only words I need
Right.
to. Also,
Honestly,
Clyde
he's
Edwards-
really not that good anyways. He's really
No,
not that
pretty
good. He's overrated.
Superstar X Factor in Madden. He's pretty good. He's a pretty
Dude,
good safety.
They're not
Superstar
a
X
good-
Factor
they're
in
just
Madden is a
not
joke.
good offensive team in the first place,
Dude,
though.
X Factor
Okay.
in Madden
Hold on,
last
hold
year
on.
didn't have Tyreek Hill in it. He's a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
The
I don't want to hear about
Dolphins'
X
offense is
Factor
nothing
in
special in
Madden.
the first
Because
place.
he beat up his kid. So my reasoning, though, the Chiefs beat the Broncos 22-16. The
Dude,
Broncos.
that's a division game,
you
dude.
look
Division games
way
are always
into
close.
things.
They beat Denver by 6. That's terrible.
Dude,
The
that's a
Dolphins are good
division
football
game,
team.
dude. That happens all the time. Like,
That-
they're-
Dolphins
it's
are a good
just,
football team.
You have
I'm
no
taking Miami.
idea.
dude, it's just
Miami's going
you're an
9-4.
idiot. You're an
That's
idiot.
terrible. That
Oh, my
is
God.
absolutely.
I hope you fall off a cliff.
I second that.
I'm taking the
I don't
Chiefs.
think
Oh my God.
Thank you, Levine.
It's a great explanation. Okay. So, split on Kansas City and Miami. It seems that the Kansas City supporters are very passionate, but
Unbelievable.
I guess we'll see next time we film how we did. The next game, maybe an easier pick, Tennessee at Jacksonville. I'm taking the Jaguars. No, I'm kidding. I'm taking the Titans. I'll take the Titans. No, I'm kidding. I just want to see your reaction. No, I'll take the Titans. I think it's going to be a nice bounce back game after getting hammered against Cleveland. So,
Yeah. Actually, speaking of last week, I don't really know what happened to the Titans last week. I still don't think the Browns are good, regardless. Don't really know how the Titans lost last week, but Derrick Henry this week, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, easy, big win.
You know, you see, it's hard for me to pick against my boy Mike Glennon, as you guys know from last week.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, listen, you're right. He's not good. He's great. I'm not picking the Jaguars. Don't worry. I do want to comment, though. James Robinson, like, stud. Have him on my fantasy
he
team.
is nasty.
Love that guy. Dude's actually gross. I don't know how they got a steal out of him as an undrafted free agent, but, like, good for them and good for him. He's balling out. But obviously, like, I'm taking the Titans. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I'm also going to take the Titans, but a little note to watch on James Robinson. I'm looking at the injury report. He's been a limited participant all week on his something with a knee.
Don't worry about that. It's load management.
I'm just a little concerned. That's all. But I'm going to take the Titans.
I'm not concerned at all.
Because they
Titans
get
rush
John
defense sucks in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Titans. I don't think there's much to be said here.
okay, maybe one of the worst games of the week. The Dallas is facing the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I know the Bengals are being led out. I don't even know who their quarterback is. Brandon Allen, Ryan Finley. It's one of those guys. The Cowboys are also just a terrible football team. I hate the Cowboys, maybe more than any other team in the league. Maybe the Eagles, actually. I just hate the Cowboys. I want them to lose, and I think they will lose. So I'll take the Bengals at home.
No. Cowboys will win this week. I'll let someone else explain, but I'm not going to waste my time on such a terrible game to argue about.
Fair enough.
This game might actually be intriguing. I'm not actually sure who I'm going to pick, so I'm going to think about it right now as I try to stall with my arguments of why I think each team has a chance to win. The reasons that I think the Cowboys can win is because the Bengals suck. And the reasons that I think the Bengals can win is because the Cowboys also suck.
It's going to be a 0-0 tie.
Now, the Bengals already hit a tie earlier in the season. No way they finished with 2. That's like unheard of.
Unheard of, yeah.
I'm going to go Give me the Cowboys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's actually like not a terrible quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott might not play. He's been a limited participant all week. Another one on a calf injury.
Everyone a limited participant.
Dude, you know being a limited participant is just like a joke, right?
I'm just still a little concerned. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been good this year. Like, he's actually like a terrible running back. I don't know if anyone else has seen it.
I completely agree.
Like, he's, like,
regardless,
not
so
bad.
Tony Pollard can fill in. So, and the Bengals are terrible. So just say your pick.
Okay, Stern. Not to be so aggressive. Jeez, my pick is the Cowboys.
That's what I was getting at that, but I didn't want to force that on you. I guess I came across the opposite way.
Jeez. All right, yeah, I'm also taking the Cowboys here. I just think
you're
the Bengals
boring.
are too bad. Oh, you want me to take?
Yes, I do.
I can't. I gotta be able to say like what? No. I'm not like you. Me like Stern did to Anthony. Sorry.
Okay,
Aaron
so I'm
Rodgers is
going to take the
overrated.
Bengals, and I hope on Monday or whenever we film this, I'll be right.
Sam is going bold this week.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a strategy. I mean, if I want to separate myself, I'm going to have to make a couple of bold picks.
Kid's smart.
I guess Anthony did pick the Dolphins with me. Okay, either way, another terrible game. The Houston Texans at the Chicago Bears. Just two really just franchises in disarray. I mean, the Texans are all right. They have their quarterback. And for that reason, I guess I'll take the Texans. And I don't think it'll be particularly close either. I just think the Bears are that bad, and I think the quarterback is that bad. So
This is another game where it's like two bad teams, but it's a complete toss-up for me. I'm gonna pick the Texans here. I don't really know why. It feels like it.
Yeah, Texans have been playing a lot better since they fired Bill O'Brien. Played a good game against the Colts, almost won last week. Colts are a pretty good team, playoff team in my eyes. And the Bears are horrendous. They've lost like 6 in a row, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't even matter who they play at quarterback, whether Foles is healthy or not. Like, both Mitch and Foles are terrible. The defense is imploding right now. I mean, they gave up, 34 points to the Lions, and like the Lions just absolutely suck. If you're a fan of them, you're a nerd. But yeah, give me the Texans.
I'm going to take the Bears this week just because I feel like they can't lose any more games. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point to lose 6 in a row. And it's not even like they're playing good teams, but I just feel like the Texans are so like irrelevant now. Like, they have Deshaun Watson, and that's literally it. JJ Watt, he's actually pretty good, but he has no weapons to throw.
You're not going to
It's just a
mention
really
Kiki
sad
Cootie,
team.
who's on the injury report?
Yeah, he has a concussion. No,
Yeah.
he's like confirmed out.
Oh,
And
he
Brandon
is?
Cooks isn't. Yeah, he's out. Brandon Cooks is the only good skill position player on offense other than Deshaun Watson.
Anthony, I'm just curious, where do you get your injury updates from?
Variety of websites, actually. I do my research.
You're a nerd.
All right. On that note, I'm going to take the Bears. I think, as Anthony just said, I don't think they can lose another game because I think Matt Nagy might get jumped by his whole defensive line.
Interesting take.
Pretty,
I think Matt Nagy is like horrible. Like,
former coach of the
I don't know what you want me to say, but yeah, I don't think the Texans are that good, and I think the Bears are better. That's really all I've got. Like, I don't have like a specific reason. I just think the Bears are better. And
Did the Texans spank the Lions on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah.
All right.
Patricia got fired because of it, though.
Yeah,
So it's a
I'm not
blessing.
complaining about it. I am happy. I want to donate to Deshaun Watson's charity or whatever that was on Twitter.
He loves when the Lions lose.
Next one, Sammy.
The Denver Broncos against the Carolina Panthers.
Oh my God, these games are terrible. What the heck?
Yeah, we're kind of
Oh my
They're
God.
kind of evenly matched, though.
No, they are, but like if I was like forced to watch this game, I'd probably like freaking cut off my foot instead.
We're kind of getting that tough point of the schedule. It's like the 4:05 games, which is where they put the games that are not supposed to be good. But the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. Denver had a respectable showing last week, finally getting some QBs back. No, I'm going to take the Panthers. I think the Panthers just are better. I know they have a couple guys on the COVID reserve, but I still like the Panthers in this game. I think they have a solid coach in Matt Rule, so I'll take the Panthers.
I'm going to pick the Broncos. I think, they played all right against Kansas City. They had a big win against the Dolphins earlier this season. And no McCaffrey this week for Carolina. I think I'm going to pick the Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, I think the rest of these dudes are going to pick the Panthers, and I kind of want to separate myself a little bit. They did play better against the Broncos, actually having a quarterback. I still think Drew Lock really isn't that good. But defense played pretty good against the Chiefs. I think it only gets easier in this game. And if they establish their run game early like they did with Melvin Gordon, I think it'll be an easy game for them. So give me the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Broncos.
God damn it, Anthony. What the heck? I literally just said that. I thought you guys were going to take the Panthers.
No, I'm anti-Carolina.
Evan, who are you taking just because I want to know?
I'm also taking the Broncos.
All right, whatever. Just go, Ant.
Yeah, I like Drew Lock.
Wait, are you serious?
I really like Drew Lock.
Oh, my God. You must be joking.
He looks like he's
I
12.
like Drew Lock.
Dude, he sucks.
I like Drew Lock.
Oh, my God. You're the only one. I think his parents hate him.
I like the visor, though.
No, I actually like Drew Lock also.
Oh, my
Yeah, I'm
God.
not-
No, as a person,
Oh,
he's
no, you
really
can't
I'm
judge
not against
quarterbacks.
Drew Lock.
You
I
can't
kind
judge
of agree.
quarterbacks.
He's
Oh my
developing
God.
as a quarterback.
Oh, my God. Dude, he got worse from last year.
He's been hurt.
Yeah, he's a
Oh,
back
my
issue.
God. Stop. Dude,
I'm
he
reading the
sucks.
injury report right
he
now.
sucks.
Oh,
Dude,
great.
shut up with your goddamn injury report.
Next.
All right, so Evan Levine picked the Broncos, and so that's another opportunity for me to maybe get one up in the win column or fall one back in the loss column. So go Panthers. And quick shout out while we're talking about the Panthers in Carolina. I'm watching the Hornets preseason game. LaMelo Ball looks pretty good. And I think it's very interesting to see how that will pan out. That's the topic for another time. I just want to say that. Shout out to LaMelo Ball.
He sucks.
Shout out to Gordon Hayward because I like Hayward and he's doing good right now too. All right, this might be the easiest pick of all. Jets, Seahawks. Jets suck. Seahawks are good.
We just
JETS.
go around.
Taking the Seahawks.
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 All right, next game.
Okay. This might be one of the best games. Indianapolis Colts facing the Las Vegas Raiders, and these are two teams who are vying for that last spot in the AFC wildcard. So if whoever wins is going to end up being that 7th seed heading into Week 15. So this is honestly a huge game for both teams to get a leg up maybe in a tiebreaker scenario. Who am I going to pick? I don't really know. I think the Raiders have looked pretty bad recently. That was just a lucky win against the worst team in the league. Maybe they were on the road, but still, it doesn't matter. They should have beat that team pretty handedly. I think the Colts are very good. I think their defense is solid. I trust Philip Rivers, veteran quarterback. He knows how to win in December, although he hasn't really had much playoff success. I'm rambling on here. Give me the Colts on the road.
I'm picking the Colts in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders suck, so I'm going to take the Colts.
No,
Like, they suck.
I wouldn't say they suck.
Yes, they do. They
They're
suck.
not that good. They're
They
overrated.
suck.
I disagree. I think they're having a tough few weeks.
Well, Josh
No,
Jacobs
I think
is
they suck.
Yeah. No, they're not bad.
They gave
Bro,
up
they got
28 points to the
Beat
Jets.
the best team in the league and almost beat them again.
Dude,
Something unheard of.
like I'm saying, it's division. That's a divisional game. Divisional games are always going to be tight unless it's like Chiefs versus Jets if they were in the same division. Like that. Other than that, like division games are always going to be close. Like the Raiders, like they got spanked by the Falcons. Like terrible defense. Gave up 43 points to them too. Should have lost to the Jets, but they got lucky that Greg Williams like literally has the brain the size of a pea. And Derek Carr, kind of overrated. Not gonna lie, he's decent, but people were trying to project him as a top 10 quarterback early on, and he's, in my opinion, he's not. Josh Jacobs is playing banged up, so Colts.
Yeah, I'm going the Colts too.
Yeah, I'm also going the Colts here. I just think that the Raiders defense is bad.
All right. Well, 5 on the Colts, maybe a little bit surprising. I think it'll be a good game, and whoever wins, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised.
I also think it's going to be a good game. I just we'll see.
Okay, so the next game, the Washington football team traveling to, well, I guess Arizona technically now, but to play the San Francisco 49ers. And Washington is on a roll, as we said, but I hate Washington. Obviously, same division as the Giants. This is kind of maybe a hopeful pick. I hope the 49ers win. And for order for my hopes to come true, I'm going to pick them. So I'll take San Francisco. And I think it'll probably not be the consensus pick. So I'll take San Francisco.
I'm a big believer in football team now after I picked them and they made me proud. But I'm picking the 49ers this week. I I don't think they played terrible against the Bills, who are a very good team. I don't know. It just feels like a 49ers win to me.
This is a tough one. Football team.
Yeah, I'm taking the football team. They just got so much momentum. And I know like the football team.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the football team here. I like what's going on with the coach, Ron Rivera, and completely like rejuvenating the spirit of that team. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the football team's going to pull it out.
So 3 of us are on the football team. I'm surprised, Sten, you didn't take the football team. You're like the biggest football team supporter we have, but I think it'll be another good game at 4 o'clock. Probably not going to be a good game. The next one's Saints at Philly. Trotting out Jalen Hurts, the former Alabama and Oklahoma product at QB. I'm taking the Saints.
Saints as well.
Saints.
Philly
Okay.
sucks.
Not much.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah, Philly's real a little bit. Atlanta at the Chargers. I picked Atlanta twice to beat the Saints, and they lost both times. Going to be a pretty close matchup. 2 not great teams, but I think 2 teams who are capable of winning in any given game. Who am I going to take? Chargers got absolutely hammered by the Patriots. I'll take the Chargers. I think at home it makes a difference. There's no fans, but there's still something traveling across the country to play in Los Angeles if you're traveling from Atlanta. I'll take the Chargers.
I'm also going to go with the Chargers. Kind of a week to get back on track for Herbert, Eckler, and the gang. Anthony, I know you're a big injury report guy. Julio Jones is out. I'm sure you saw that. So I don't know. Atlanta boggles my mind week in, week out. I can't trust them anymore. Give me the Chargers.
Chargers. Matt Ryan plays terrible when Julio Jones doesn't play.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
Actually, I'm also going to take the Chargers for the same reason Stern said. I just think Atlanta is too inconsistent, and I think that Justin Herbert's going to have a great game this weekend.
The last 4 o'clock game, the Green Bay Packers facing Evan Levine's Detroit Lions, led by new interim head coach Darrell Bevell.
Yeah, Green Bay by 1,000.
I second that.
No.
Aaron Rodgers is going to spank them.
Oh, what happened to divisional games being close, Nick?
Shut up.
Well, it's different when it's the Lions
No.
because they suck at football.
Okay, well, I don't know why you're
Aaron
attacking me today.
Aaron Rodgers this week is going to know who you are, and he's going to bury you alive.
He's going to be the Lions' daddy.
You, Sammy,
bury you alive.
Sammy, Stern, Anthony, and
I
Nick are
hope he
all going
goes
to
up
take
to the camera and he
Packers
specifically
against me,
says
and I'm going to take the Lions here because I'm a Lions
I hope he
fan,
goes
and
to the
I
camera and says, I'm
Darrell
overrated,
Bevell-
right?
Stop, Stern, stop! I think that the Lions are much better.
You don't
Darrell
actually-
Bevell,
you
and I
don't think they're
it's
gonna
at least
win?
a close game. I think they're going to win. Okay,
Tell
stop.
me the Lions are going to win. Tell me right now.
They're going to win. They're going to win, Evan.
Holy crap. And when you're crying on Twitter this week, just remember that this is your fault. You picked them.
Packers.
Thanks, Anthony. The Sunday night game, which I think is probably the best game of the week, the Pittsburgh Steelers facing the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is going to be an incredibly hard game for me to pick. I think these are 2 of the best teams in the AFC. 2 teams that are really going to challenge the Chiefs for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Steelers on the road in Buffalo. I feel like a trendy upset pick. I guess it'll technically be an upset because they have a worse record. Is going to take the Bills over the Steelers. The Steelers are 11-1 for a reason, regardless of their schedule. They're just good in all facets. They had a letdown last week. Mike Tomlin's too good of a coach to lose 2 games. No, that's not true. Every team can lose 2 games in a row. But I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to move to 12-1 and beat the Bills on Sunday night.
I got the Bills as well. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind right now. Stephon Diggs, like Cole Beasley, the dude's an animal. These are just like 2 good teams going at it. It's gonna be a great game. But again, I got the Bills.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify. I don't know if I misspoke because you said Bills as well. I'm taking the Steelers. Sorry if I misspoke there.
Awkward.
Nick,
I'm going to take the Steelers because I think they're going to use last week as a week to learn from. I think they're going to rebound here pretty well, prove that they're still a contending team.
I've got the Bills.
I'm going to take the Steelers here. I think after getting demolished, they didn't get demolished by the football team, but I think they got definitely embarrassed a little bit. I think they're going to work really hard this week and pull out a win against the Bills.
Okay, in the last game, the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North taking on their division rival Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns are vying for a chance to win the division for the first time in God knows how long. Do I think that they're going to win it? No. I think this is another opportunity for the Browns to win at home, a primetime game. I'll take the Browns in this one against the Ravens, who are struggling too.
I hate both of these teams. Actually, no, I just hate the Ravens, but I don't think the Browns are very good. I don't like this pick, but I'm going to pick the Ravens.
I'm also taking the Ravens. Not a big believer in the Browns. I think it'll be a decent game, but because I also don't think the Ravens are that good, I just think they're a little bit better. So give me the Ravens.
I'm taking Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Baltimore here.
Okay, so that's for like the fourth time I'm the only one picking a team. So this could either really destroy my chances in the standings or really help them. But I think it's going to be a great week 15 or week 14, excuse me. A lot of good games, a lot of bad games, but I think it's just going to provide a lot of entertainment as we head down the stretch. It's going to really shake up the playoff races, a couple of games like Indianapolis, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. It's going to be a great week. So next time we'll talk about probably our week 14 recap, what we think heading into the last couple of weeks. Maybe we'll talk about the NBA a little bit starting up in a week or so. Thoughts on the preseason, but whatever we decide to do, I'm sure it'll be interesting and fun. And yeah, so guys, if you don't have anything else to say, I want to thank everyone for watching, tuning in, and we'll catch you all next time. Peace.